Next up, we've got an insight into the jaw-dropping potential of the students coming out of our universities. I'm hugely excited to introduce Charlie, Matthew and Ryan of Ethicul. Brighton-based Ethicul are creating a social movement of positive purchasing to create an ecosystem of ethical buyers and sellers. The guys will be discussing the impacts of our purchasing habits, the underlying issues we're facing with the death of the high street, and what more ethically minded firms are doing to address this, and how we can all fight back. They have a vision to process over 1 million ethical transactions by 2025. And once you meet them, you'll be left with little doubt that they'll nail this target and some.
Hi everyone, welcome to our talk today. So today we're going to be discussing why it's more important than ever to be buying and selling more ethically and sustainably. But before we start, we'd like to say a special thank you to all those at Ethicul Brighton for hosting this event with such a fantastic cause behind it. But a quick introduction to our team. I'm Matt Denford, one of the co-founders of Ethicul, and alongside me are my two other founders.
Hi everyone, my name is Charlie Jordan. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today, so thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Hudson and thanks to you all for tuning in. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will be speaking to you about three key areas. Firstly, we will address the bigger picture and the more alarming impacts of our purchasing habits. Then we will focus in on some of the root causes before moving on to a bit about us at Ethicul, what we are striving to achieve and how we are doing it.
So as briefly mentioned by Ryan there, we're going to start off by addressing some of the wider issues associated with our modern day purchasing behaviour, and some of which I'm sure you're all well aware of. Firstly, one major issue at the forefront today is around the sustainability of our planet. And just one example that highlights this is the uphill battle against plastic, with much of this coming from our daily purchasing habits.
Staggeringly, since 1950, 91% of all plastic waste has not been recycled. And this is accompanied by the fact that there are currently 8 million tonnes of plastic that is entering our oceans each year. Of course, this is detrimental to our marine environment as it results in the ingestion, suffocation, and entanglement of hundreds of marine species.
Not only this, non-recyclable plastic that is incinerated also contributes towards the alarming level of carbon dioxide entering our atmosphere. And when we also relate it to the fashion industry, a whopping 85% of textiles end up in landfill or incinerated, when most of these could be reused.
Secondly, there are big impacts on our communities, and that's for both ours and yours, as well as the communities around the world. Staggeringly, 1 in 10 children are forced to work to financially support their families. And this is equivalent to around 150 million children, with almost half of those forced to work in dangerous or exploitative conditions.
And just because we don't see these directly within our own communities, it doesn't mean that we're not contributing towards it. Many of the world's biggest brands have been found to be exploiting these statistics. And I think that we're all probably guilty of purchasing from at least one of those.
So this has made us think, why don't we source locally? It helps eliminate these alarming issues across the globe and supports the flourishing of our own communities.
And finally, the third impact is that of our social well-being. And it's an area that's seeming to become more relevant than ever. For example, aspects such as mental and physical health are now much more talked about, which is fantastic. So the idea of support mechanisms for employees is now crucial. However, staggeringly 2 million workers in the UK were paid at or below the national minimum wage as of April 2018, which can often cause difficulties in upholding social stability.
Yeah, so this is kind of asking us the question, who's really to blame? So having reflected on some of the wider and alarming issues, it poses the question of this blame. Is it the big corporations or is it us as buyers? Because we have continued to demand the products that directly contribute to so many of these issues. But we often tend to forget that it's our choice. So unless we change as consumers, why would the big corporations change?
So once we've gone through this thought process, we've broken it down further to really try and identify the underlying drivers caused by our societal norms. And this raised the question, are we oblivious? Fundamentally, there are fantastic companies across the UK fighting to tackle these troublesome statistics with their products and services.
I mean, speaking from our own experience of living in Brighton for 3 years, alongside its reputation for being one of the greenest cities in the UK, we've learnt a lot. But one thing we struggle to grasp is where these retailers are and what they actually have to offer.
Yes, we've done our research and we know that there are over 300 independents in less than half a square mile in Brighton alone, meaning as a city, as the most independent retailers across the entire South Coast. We discovered that these retailers that are pushing positive change are local, independent, and they're simply not getting the exposure that they deserve in comparison to the larger companies that often greenwash their reputation.
And not only this, there are some challenging conditions which we're going through at the minute, especially with regards to COVID-19. I mean, we're well aware that the high street is on the decline, with shops closing daily. Many retailers have been forced to close in Brighton, such as Chocolate Doodah, for example. And as mentioned, this accompanied with the ongoing pandemic is putting more pressure than ever on these retailers.
So, over the past month, we have spoken with many retailers across Sussex that have lost all of their foreseeable income due to the coronavirus. They've had to drastically adapt their business models to survive. In 2019, there was approximately 5,000 people employed by SMEs in Brighton in the retail sector alone. So it's not just the livelihood of these businesses that is under threat, but a whole part of our community. The people behind these businesses set out to make a difference to our planet, society, and well-being, rather than to simply gain commercially, yet they have been hit the hardest by this pandemic.
And just one example of this is being a Brighton-based couple who recently established their sustainable product line aimed to reduce the need for plastic. They sacrificed the stability of a monthly salary to promote positive change, and overnight, a large chunk of their business was simply wiped out. And this is just one example, but the message does remain the same. We must support our independents. They need it now more than ever.
Exactly that. So we've already told you about the statistics and the issues that we're currently facing. So now we want to set you a little challenge of our own. So could you please grab a pen and paper or just open up the notes on your phone and write down 3 ethical retailers in your area that you love. We'll give you about 30 seconds to a minute for you to do this, and we're going to be drawing upon your answers at the end of the talk. So just to reiterate, could you please write down 3 ethical retailers within your local area that you love?
Just give you a little bit more time to finish those off, and then we'll move on. Right, that should be enough time now, hopefully. If it's not, sorry, I apologise. We're going to move on now. So far, we have addressed the fundamental consequences and issues imposed to our planet, communities, and well-being due to our purchasing habits. We then dived into the underlying causes of these alarming issues and their associated challenges for individuals and retailers.
And we now know there are fantastic local and ethically minded businesses all around us, yet not many people actually know who, where, and what they have to offer. So it's clear that we need to fight back to support these ethically minded organisations. But you're probably wondering how, and the answer to that is exactly why the 3 of us is here.
Yeah, so the core rationale behind Ethicul is to create a community of ethically minded buyers and sellers through informing, encouraging, and rewarding individuals to make more ethical purchasing decisions. So this is set to bridge the gap between individuals, such as you and me, and the ethical seller on the other side. And that is why we believe that we can create over 1 million ethical transactions before the year 2025.
You're probably wondering right now, how will we achieve this? So we believe that we can achieve this through introducing a breakthrough lifestyle app that rewards our customers for shopping ethically. With the more money spent on ethical products, the more tokens users generate. These tokens can then be reinvested into the ethical ecosystem for exclusive rewards and discounts on our ethical products and services.
And this seamless experience eliminates that need for a rewards card. And this is due to the advancement in technology that allows a real-time payment transfer at the point of sale. And I know this can sound a little bit scary, but please be assured it's actually very simple and very secure.
Yeah, so what will this actually achieve going forward? So the direct benefits are for retailers that the app will reward these ethical organisations by increasing their visibility, demand, and subsequent sales revenue, as we're going to be providing a platform for retailers to showcase all the amazing things they do in regards to sustainability and ethics. We're currently living in a world dominated by these retail powerhouses, so we know the challenges in regards to raising your profiles and being heard above that noise.
So we believe that we can bring these retailers together through a unique community, and this will help raise their awareness, driving new and sustainable sales through innovative tech and intelligent marketing. For the likes of you and me, we all want to ensure we're spending with socially responsible organisations that are generally proactive with regards to ethical business practices and sustainable trading.
And Ethicul rewards this activity to help individuals make long-term and lasting retail decisions that actually make a difference to the world. And you can probably tell we are an ambitious bunch here, but truth be told, we're only in our early stages. As seen by the timeline, we are currently in the final stages of developing our website and building our community via various social media channels.
Yeah, so this is only the start of our journey, but we want everyone to be behind it. We've already partnered with some fantastic retailers across Brighton and Hove, including Harry's Coffee, Minty and Happy Mackie, plus many more. But we're still on the hunt for more. We still want to keep driving this positive change forward, and we can't do that without more and more retailers coming on board.
So that's where you come into the picture. Without you, we cannot keep building this community. So we would love for you to head over to our LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram or Twitter and give us a like and keep up to date with everything we are doing. Likewise, as mentioned, we are very close to launching our website, due to go live in May. In the meantime, take a look at our landing page to find out a bit more. And why not register your email to hear all the latest news.
Great. So remember that challenge that we set a little bit earlier? Well, now it would be great if you could message us with your 3 favourite ethical retailers on any of our social media channels that you see. Or alternatively, pop us an email. After you've done this, we're going to be showcasing all of your top retailers across our social media channels, and we're going to give you a shout out along the way.
So get in touch. We would love to hear from every single one of you. I'm going to end our talk on one statistic. 81% of individuals say that they will make a personal sacrifice to address social and environmental issues. So why not do it together? The time is now.
Thank you for everyone who's engaged with us throughout this talk. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'd like just to say one last thank you and take care.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day.